Sri Gurubhyo Nama children, welcome to online session. Now, we are discussing already with power sharing lesson. Yesterday I told about the accommodation in Belgium. How the leaders of Belgium, how they have accommodated regional diversity and cultural diversity in their country. And how many times we have seen that nearly 4 times they have made amendments between 1970 and 1993. And finally, they have brought some innovative ideas in the Belgium constitution model. And I told about the Belgium constitution model yesterday. We have discussed that in the constitution, clearly it prescribes that the number of French speaking and Dutch speaking communities, the Dutch speaking ministers are equal in the central government. And moreover, certain laws, they should get the majority support of both the linguistic groups. So certain laws, they have to get the majority support of both the linguistic group, that is Dutch as well as French. And there is no unilateral policy decision. No single community has got the authority to decide a particular issue. So this is the first point of Belgium constitution model. Then what we have seen, the second point, some of the powers of the central government are given to the state governments of both the regions. So some of the powers are taken away from the central government and it was given to the state governments of both the regions. And here the state governments are not subordinate to the central government, they are not answerable to the central government. And what is the next point we have seen? Brussels has got a separate government, we have seen, third point. The Brussels has got a separate government where in Brussels French were the majority. They accepted equal representation of Dutch. As well as in the country, when you talk about Belgium, where Dutch was the majority and French were the minority, Dutch accepted equal representation of French in the country. And finally, we have seen that apart from central government, state government, in Belgium, there is third tier government which is known as community government. So this community government is elected by members of one language, one linguistic group, one language community. It can be a Dutch, French, or it can be a German. And this community government, they can solve the problems based on culture, education and language. So the last point is the third tier system also existed in Belgium, which is a community government which is formed by the members of one linguistic group. Either it can be a Dutch or French or it can be a German. And this community government has got the power to decide the issues based on culture, education and language. And all these are the various innovative ideas of Belgium constitution model. As these, even though the ideas are very complicated, but it was very innovative. That's why many European countries, they started to adopt this constitution. And there is one more point I wanted to say. This Brussels has been chosen as the headquarters of European Union. So Brussels is the capital of Belgium. So as Belgium were able to accommodate everybody in the constitution, as they were able to accommodate cultural and regional diversities, so this Brussels, which was the capital of Belgium, was chosen as the headquarters of European Union. Up to that we have completed yesterday. Today we are going to see about, already we have discussed about Sri Lanka and Belgium. Even though both the countries are democratic countries, there is a difference. In Sri Lanka, the leaders, they don't believe in power sharing principle. That's why what happened? There were two different groups there and always conflicts between these two different groups. Finally, it has led to the disintegration of the country. Whereas in case of Belgium, it is not like that. They were very much, they gave importance to the power sharing principle. They wanted to unite the people. They wanted to develop mutual understanding among the different groups in the society. They wanted to promote peace in the country. They wanted to develop national integration of the country. So this this Belgium constitution model stresses the principle of power sharing. So what do we learn from these two stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka? Both are democratic countries. Yet they dealt with the question of power sharing differently. Even though both are democratic countries, even though Belgium and Sri Lanka both are democratic countries, they dealt the principle of power sharing in a different way. That is, the unity of the country is possible only by respecting the feelings. So when can we develop unity in the country? When we respect the feelings of other people in the society. When you are going to give importance to the feelings of other people in the society, in such a case, unity is developed. So here, when you try to bring, when you try to respect the feelings, when you are going to, when you are going to welcome the ideas of the minority section in the society, definitely unity will be developed there. And interest of different communities and regions. Such a realization resulted in mutually accepted arrangements for sharing power, as they wanted to respect the feelings of other communities in the society. So they wanted to strictly follow the principle of power sharing. Sri Lanka, when you compare this Belgium, even though Belgium has got regional diversity and cultural diversity, but the leaders, they were able to accommodate everything in the constitution because they are very cautious. They wanted to bring the principle of power sharing. They wanted to give respect to the feelings of the minority section in the society. Moreover, they wanted to bring the principle of power sharing, which will make the country united, which will develop the national integration of the country. But when you compare this Belgium with Sri Lanka, it acts in a different way. The Sri Lanka, what happened? The Buddhist leaders, they were not, but they don't have any belief in power sharing idea, in power sharing principle. That's why what happened? They denied the demands of the Tamilians. They were least bothered towards the demands of the Tamilians. They brought policies favoring only the Sinhala applicants. They ignored the feelings of the minority section in the society. So what has happened at the end? It has created a feeling of alienation among the minds of the Tamils. As a result, what happened? It has led to a civil war-like situation and intense conflicts that were often took place between the two different groups in the country. So in due course, it has appeared like a war. So a civil war-like situation has prevailed, which has completely disintegrated the country. And see this picture, see this cartoon. It talks about the coalition government in Germany. What is a coalition government? When any single party doesn't get the majority, so what they will do? Many political parties, they will come closer. Many political parties, those who have similar policies and programs, they will come closer and they will form a coalition government. So likewise, this cartoon completely talks about the Germany government in Germany, coalition government in Germany. We are going to see two different parties in Germany. These two parties, neither of these parties, they got majority in 2005 elections. So one is Christian Democratic Union. The first party is Christian Democratic Union. What is the other party? Social Democratic Party. So there were two parties in Germany. One is Christian Democratic Union. The other one is Social Democratic Party. So neither of these parties, they formed majority in 2005 elections. Always there were rivals. They are rivals to each other. Always there are conflicts between these two political parties in the country. And none of these parties, they proved their majority in 2005 elections. So they have to form, but somehow at the other, they have to form a coalition government. So here, because neither of them got clear majority of seats on their own in the 2005 elections, they take divergent positions on several policy matters. Neither of these parties showed the clear majority in 2005 elections. So these parties, they take divergent positions on several policy matters. Even though they have divergent positions on several policy matters, they were able to rule the country. They were able to run the government. How is it possible? Because they have followed the principle of power sharing. So this cartoon describes about the government of Germany, where there are two different political parties. Always there were conflicts between these two political parties. And when you talk about the one political party, it is Christian Democratic Union, the other political party is Social Democratic Party. So these two parties, always there were conflicts between these two parties. So none of these parties, they got clear majority in 2005 elections. So but somehow or the other, these parties, they have to form a coalition government. So as though even though they have divergent position on several policy matters, they were able to run the government successfully because they were able to follow the principle of power sharing. So this picture completely talks about the power sharing principle that has been involved in the Germany government. So and now we are going to talk about why power sharing is desirable. Already I told you, power sharing is one of the principle of the democratic rule. It is one of the basic principle of democratic rule. We are going to talk about why it is desirable, why power sharing is desirable. There are two different reasons of why power sharing is desirable. One is prudential reason, another one is moral reason. So far we have studied about the power sharing, and I have given two different countries about the principle of power sharing. We have discussed related to the two different countries. Now we are going to see why power sharing is desirable, and there are two set of reasons for power sharing is desirable. One is prudential reason and another one is moral reason. What is prudential reason? Based on prudence, carefully calculating the gains and losses. Carefully calculating the gains and losses, we can call it as prudential, based on prudence, careful calculation of gains and losses of power sharing. So this prudential reason of power sharing it will give definitely better outcomes, better results in the country. It will give better results in the country. It will give better outcome in the country. So when you talk about the power sharing, why it is desirable, we are having two different reasons. One is prudential reason, another one is moral reason. What is prudential? Prudential means based on prudence, careful calculation of gains and losses. So carefully we have to calculate the gains and losses. Finally, they have given the prudential reasons. All these reasons are valuable and they will give better outcome. All these reasons are having valuable reasons and they will give better outcome in the democracy. So we are going to see prudential reasons of power sharing. Two different sets of reasons are given in favor of power sharing. So firstly, power sharing is good. Prudential reason, the first reason of power sharing. Power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflicts between the different social groups. So what is the first point? It reduces the possibility of conflicts. When we follow the principle of power sharing, when in a democratic country, if a principle of power sharing is followed, we can reduce the conflicts between the different social groups. We can reduce the conflicts between the different social groups. For example, you take Germany, you take you take Belgium, you take example Belgium. Already we have discussed. Even though there are two different diverse people lived in Belgium, one set of people were Dutch speaking, the other set of people were French speaking. But how the leaders have accommodated these people in the constitution, already we have seen power sharing principle. They have given importance for power sharing. So as a result, what happened? They started to respect the feelings of minority in the country as well as in the capital. As they started to respect the feelings of minority, as they started to give importance to the feelings of minority people also in the society, they were able to run the government successfully. So power sharing there, it has reduced the conflict between the different social groups. What are the two social groups in Belgium? One is Dutch speaking, the other one is French speaking. Both are different languages. Both the set of people, they spoke different languages. So what is the first point? Under prudential reason, power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the different social groups. So for example, we can take Belgium. In Belgium, there are two different linguistic groups. One set of people were Dutch speaking, the other set of people were French speaking. As the leaders were very much involved in power sharing principle, as they were very cautious, as they wanted to bring unity in the country, as they wanted to respect the feelings of other people in the society. So what they have done, they have involved, they have started to use the principle of power sharing. So it has reduced the conflicts between the different social groups. But when you compare this Belgium with Sri Lanka, so even though Sri Lanka is also a democratic form of government, the people, the religious leaders, they don't have any belief in power sharing. They are very stubborn, they don't want to, use the principle of power sharing. They don't want to respect the feelings of the minority in the society. They don't want, they wanted to completely ignore the interest of the minority section in the society. As a result, what happened? The conflicts between the two different groups, like Sinhalas and Tamils, have become very worse. And finally, it has created a civil war-like situation that has led to the disintegration of the country. So what is prudential reason of power sharing? The first one is, power sharing reduces the possibility of conflict between the different social groups. When a democratic country follows the power sharing principle, it can able to reduce the conflicts, tensions between the different social groups in the country. For example, Belgium has two different linguistic groups, Dutch speaking and French speaking. The leaders of Belgium, they are very cautious. They wanted to bring unity in the country. They wanted the people to be united. They wanted to promote national integration. They wanted to respect the feelings of the other people, other section in the society. That's why they have followed the principle of power sharing. So as a result, as they followed the principle of power sharing, the conflicts between the Dutch speaking and French speaking has been reduced. So it has promoted for, here the power sharing has promoted for national integration. Whereas when you compare this principle, this country with other country, Sri Lanka, the religious leaders, they don't have any belief in power sharing. They don't want to respect the feelings of the minority section in the society. They ignored the interests and aspirations of the minority people in the country. As a result, what happened? Conflicts have become intense between the Sinhalas as well as Tamils. That has led to a civil war-like situation, which has completely brought disintegration of the country. So this is one example. So first prudential reason for power sharing is, it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between the different social groups. And power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between different social groups. Since social conflict often leads to violence and political instability, when power sharing principle is not followed, definitely there will be conflicts between the different groups in the country. As a result, such conflicts leads to violence. So what will happen? Already we have seen in Sri Lanka, it has become all these conflicts, in due course, it will become intense, it will become acute. So it will be looking like a civil war like situation in the country. So which will completely lead to the disintegration of the country. Such social conflicts often leads to violence. So we don't know what type of people, they don't have any peaceful, we cannot aim for peace in the country. Always there will be intense conflicts between the different social groups in the country. So that will be completely, so it will promote disunity in the country. People, they don't have any mutual understanding. As a result, what will happen? In due course, the country will be disintegrated. It violence and political instability. There will be political instability. The politics will not be stable. Politics will not be stable. There will not be a stable government. Political instability. So when different set of people are there living in the society, when we are not going to accommodate the different people in the constitution, when we are going to ignore the demands of the minority section in the constitution, in the country, definitely all those conflicts will become intense, it will become acute. So in due course, it will appear like a civil war, it will appear like a war, completely leads to the disintegration of the country. So the first point under prudential reason is, power sharing helps to reduce the conflicts between the different social groups. If conflicts are there, it will lead to violence. Sometimes there will be violence. Though two different set of people, they will be fighting each other, and many people, they will be losing their lives between the fights. So it will lead to violence, moreover political instability, the government will not be stable, there will be political instability. So power sharing principle is very, very important, they have to follow. Democratic country, it is a basic principle, is the foundation of a democratic country. So it is one of the important principles that has to be followed. Power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. So power sharing, it is a good way we can ensure the stability of the political order. So this is the first point. So what is that? Power sharing helps to reduce the possibility of conflicts between the different social groups. When power sharing principles, when a country is following power sharing principle, definitely they can able to accommodate everybody in the constitution. Everybody's demands will be taken care, and even the minority section interest will be promoted, and it will lead to if they are not going to involve the principle of power sharing, so it will often brings there will be violence in the country, and sometimes there will be political instability in the country. So power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability. So power sharing ensures the stability of political order. Imposing the will of majority community over others may look like an attractive option in the short run, but in the long run it undermines the unity of the nation. But the second point we are going to see now, imposing the will of majority community. Majority community imposing the will of majority community over the minority. The majority people imposing the will over the minority. It may be attractive in the short run, only for a short period it will be attractive, but in the long run what will happen? It will undermine the unity of the nation, it will completely eliminate the unity of the nation, it will bring disunity in the country. As a result, for example, we can talk about Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, what happened? Buddhist leaders who were, they were not interested in power sharing principle, they didn't respect the feelings of the Tamils, Sri Lankan Tamils. They didn't promote the feelings and aspirations of the Sri Lankan Tamils. As a result, what happened? The civil war like situation prevailed in the country, that has led to the disintegration of the country. So majority people were Sinhalas there. They started to impose the will over the minority. Who are the minority? The Sri Lankan Tamils. So it may be attractive. So in the short run, okay, we can accept for a short run. If it goes on, if they are going to continue like this, in the long run, definitely it will bring, undermines the unity. In due course, what will happen? There will be no unity in the country. Always there will be conflicts in the country. Yeah, already we have seen civil war like situation will prevail when there are intense conflicts between the two different groups in the society. So if it goes on like this, if it continues like this, one day or the other, the country will be completely disintegrated. So the second point is imposing the will of majority over the minority. So majority people imposing their will over the minority, it may be attractive for a short run. For a short period, it can be attractive. If they are going to continue like this, in due course what will happen? It will bring disunity in the country. It undermines the unity of the nation. So there will not be unity in the country. People, they cannot live together. There will not be peace developed in the country. Tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive for the minority, it often brings ruin to the majority as well. Tyranny of the majority, tyranny, arrogant, ferocious, the tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive to the minority, but what happens? It brings ruin to the, in due course, it completely ruins the majority. So tyranny of the majority not only, suppress, it not only talks about the just oppressive to the minority. Tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive to the minority, but in due course it will bring ruin to their own majority. So this is one of the prudential reason of power sharing. So first I told about prudential reasons and moral reasons of power sharing. What is prudential? Based on prudence, carefully calculating the losses and gains. So here we are having three different prudential reasons of power sharing. What is the first reason? Power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the different social groups in the country. For example, I told about Belgium. In Belgium, even though Dutch speaking and French speaking people are there, they were able to accommodate people, the leaders of Belgium, as they involved in the power sharing principle, as they followed the power sharing principle, they started to accommodate both the groups in the constitution. And such conflicts, if they are not going to accommodate, if they are not going to follow the principle of power sharing, these conflicts, how they appear, they will be, it will be very violent, in some cases become very violent, and it affects it brings the political instability. There will be political instability in the country. So power sharing, it brings the stable government. Social conflicts often leads to political instability. So power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability. Power sharing ensures the stability of the government. And the next one I told about the imposing the will of majority over minority. Majority, when they are going to impose the will over the minority, it may be attractive only for a short period. Only for a short period it may be attractive. Majority people, okay, they are, imposing the will. It can be attractive only for a short period, but in the long run it completely undermines the unity of the nation. What is the last one? Tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive. Tyranny of the majority, the ferocious, the cruel rule of the majority is not just oppressive to the minority, but it brings ruin to the majority as well. In due course, what will happen? Completely ruins the majority in the country. So all these are the prudential reasons of power sharing. So first one is power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the different social groups. Already told about Belgium. And if these conflicts, if power sharing principle is not followed, all these conflicts, it will become, it will become explosive, and sometimes there will be political instability. So power sharing ensures the stability of the political order. What is the next one? Imposing the will of majority over minority may be attractive for short run. It can be attractive only for a short period, but in a long run, it undermines the unity. It brings disunity in the country. It completely eliminates the unity in the country. Completely eliminates the unity in the country. What is the last point? The tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive to the minority, but it brings ruin to the majority as well. So all these are the prudential reasons of power sharing. Now we are going to see another set of reasons for power sharing, which is known as moral reasons. So there are moral reasons also for power sharing. So these moral reasons we are going to see, there are totally 3 different moral reasons why power sharing is desirable. So prudential reason, we have seen 3 prudential reasons. Now we are going to talk about 3 moral reasons of power sharing. The first point. Power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. Whichever democratic country, power sharing is the principle, is the foundation of the democratic country. The spirit of democracy, power sharing is the true spirit of, is the very spirit of democracy. It is nothing but whichever country, whichever democratic country, power sharing is the foundation. Power sharing is the principle, or it is the foundation of the democratic country. So power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. So any democratic country, so that is the one of the important principle. Power sharing is one of the important principle of the democratic form of country. A democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. People have a right to be consulted on how they have to be governed. So what is the second reason, second moral reason of power sharing? Actually, a democratic rule. What is a democratic rule? Actually, democratic rules involves sharing power. So, what is the democratic rule? Actually, it involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. Actually, power should be shared between the one who has lost and the one who is ruling the government. Power sharing should be in such a way, it should be shared between 2 different people, the one who has already lost power and the one who is in power. So this is how the power has to be shared. The next one, people have a right to be consulted in the governance. So either a citizen or a community, they have a they have a principle say in the governance through the elected representatives. So every citizen has got a right to have a say in the governance of the country through their elected representatives. Again, it is one of the moral reason of power sharing. What is the first moral reason? It is the spirit of democracy. What is the spirit of democracy? Any democratic country, the foundation, very important principle is power sharing. They have to follow. That is one of the important principle. Power sharing is one of the important principle of democratic country. What is the next one? Power sharing should include, how it should be? A democratic rule involves sharing power with those. So how the power sharing should be? It should be sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. So power sharing should be between between the two different person already who has lost power, the person who has already lost power and the person who is in power. So it should be like that. The next one. People have a right to be consulted in the governance. Every citizen or community has a say in the governance through their elected representatives. So every citizen or every community, they have a say in the governance through their elected representatives. They can voice in the governance of the country. The next one, a legitimate government. So what is a legitimate government? Where people, they will be actively participating. People, a legitimate government is one where active participation of the people will be there. It will bring stake in the political order. It will bring stake. It acquires a stability. It acquires a stability in the system. It acquires a stake in the system. So we have discussed the three moral reasons of power sharing. What is the first one? It is the spirit of democracy. What is that? The spirit of democracy. Actually, every democratic country should have the principle of what is that? Power sharing. So this is one. What is second one? How the power should be shared? A democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and those who have to live with its effect. So this is actually the power that is shared between two different people. One who has already lost power and other one who is in power. So it should be shared like that. And what is the next one? Here, in a democratic form of government, every citizen has got the equal political as well as legal rights. So every citizen has got equal political rights. They got equal legal rights also. Moreover, any citizen or a community can have a say in the governance. They can question the government through their elected representatives. They can question the government. They can question about the government governing of the country through their elected representatives. What is the last one? A legitimate government is one where citizens through their active participation, they will promote a stake in the system. So they will bring stability. It will provide a stake in the system, or they will prove their stability. It talks about the stability. So we have discussed about the prudential reasons and moral reasons of power sharing. So prudential reason, what is the first one? Power sharing reduces the possibility of conflicts between the different groups in the society. I already told about Belgium. Even though two different linguistic groups were there, the leaders were very brilliant, and they started to involve the power sharing principle. As a result, they brought unity in the country. They started to respect the feelings of other set of people in the society. They promoted national integration. And when you talk about the other, whenever the conflicts are not accommodated, whenever we are not going to accommodate the other set of people, the feelings, when you are going to ignore the feelings of other set of people in the society, those conflicts will become intense. It will become violent. It will become so violent. In such a case, what will happen? It will bring disunity in the country. So there will be political instability. Political instability will be there in the country. Such conflicts will lead to political instability. It brings violence as well as political instability in the country. The next one, majority, imposing the will of majority over the minority. So majority people imposing the will over the minority. It may be attractive for a short period. It can be attractive for the short period. But if they are going to continue like this for a long run, if it is going to continue for a long period, definitely it undermines the unity of the nation. There will be no unity in the country. And what is the next one? Tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive. So tyranny of the majority is not oppressive to the minority, but it brings ruin to the majority as well. So all these are the prudential reasons. I told about the moral reasons also. So there are moral reasons for power sharing. It is the spirit of the true spirit of democracy. Power sharing is the true spirit of democracy. Any democratic country, they will that is the foundation, that is the principle. Power sharing is the principle of democratic system. And what is that? How this democratic rule, how they have to share the power? A democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and those who live with its effects. That means if there are two different people, one person already has lost his power, the other person is there in power. So power should be shared between the one who has lost and the one who is in power. And I told about citizens here in a democratic government. Citizens have equal political rights and they have equal legal rights also. And the citizens, they can take part in they can participate. Through their participation, citizens' participation, it will bring stake in the government, it will bring stake in the system. Moreover, the people, they can, question the government, they can say, they can bring their voice in the government through the elected representative. Any citizen or any community, they can voice the government through their elected representatives. At the same time, the citizens, by participation, through their participation, it acquires a stake in the system. All these are the prudential reasons and moral reasons of power sharing. So today I am going to stop up to this. So I want everybody, this can be a 5-mark question. Give the prudential reason, write a short note on prudential reasons and moral reasons of power sharing. Or sometimes they will be asking like this, why power sharing is desirable? In such a case, you have to write prudential reasons as well as moral reasons. So usually all these types of questions you can see in the 5-mark questions. So I want everybody, whatever I taught today, please go through. Tomorrow I will be giving the recap. First I will be asking you questions, I will be giving you the recapitulation. Then we will move on to the next page. Thank you, children.